Hello and welcome to the Art of Cooking. So today we're going to make pork mei fun, also known as thin rice noodles. Of course you don't have to use pork. You can use either chicken, beef, shrimp, crab meat, and so on. If you want to make Singapore mei fun, you can combine all the meat and the seafood ingredients that I mentioned earlier and add in curry powder. That's it. And of course, Singapore mei fun doesn't really exist in Singapore. It's a dish created in Hong Kong and they just name it Singapore mei fun. So let's get started. Here I have 150 grams or 5.3 ounce of thin rice noodles. Pour in either cold or warm water. If you pour cold water, it'll take about 45 to an hour to soften. If you pour in warm water, it'll take 5 to 8 minutes to soften. Cut 50 grams or 1.76 ounce of napa into strips. Cut 100 grams or 3.5 ounce of cabbage into strips. Cut 50 grams or 1.76 ounce of onion into strips. Cut one celery in half, then cut the halves into quarters. Cut off the ends of the celery if necessary. Also cut it into strips. Here I have 50 grams or 1.76 ounce of celery. Cut 50 grams or 1.76 ounce of carrot into strips as well. Yes, I know, so many vegetables to cut, but it's good for the body, which will make you sexy. Cut one spring onion. Cut the white green parts into halves and or quarters if it's thick. Separate the greenish white part from the green parts. Additional vegetables I have included 30 grams or 1 ounce of bean sprouts and 15 grams or 0.5 ounce of bamboo shoot strips. Now let's cut the meat. Cut 350 grams or 12.35 ounce of lean pork into thin strips. Make sure to cut against the grain as this will help the meat become tender. To this, add in half a teaspoon of salt, 1/8 teaspoon or a sprinkle of white pepper, 1/6 teaspoon or a couple sprinkle of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon water, 2 teaspoons of Shaoxing rice wine, and mix. Set it aside and let it marinate for about 10 to 15 minutes. Then add in 2 teaspoons of cornstarch and mix until you do not see any cornstarch powder. Then add in 1 teaspoon of vegetable oil and mix until there is no oil left. Let's get back to the noodles. Remember, if you use warm water, it only takes about 5 to 8 minutes. Drain it after 5 to 8 minutes. If you use cold water, you can leave it in the water for 24 hours before cooking. Although it only takes 1 hour to soften the noodles using cold water. Crack 2 eggs, and as always,
just beat it, just beat it, just beat it, just beat it.
So let's start cooking. In a large pan or wok, turn your fire to medium-high. Heat your pan or wok till it's hot, then add in 1 to 1.5 tablespoons of vegetable oil. In my case, I have to add in extra oil to coat my wok. Add in the beaten egg. Cook until the egg just becomes solid. Do not overcook the eggs. Take the eggs out and set it aside. This time, heat your wok or pan till it's smoking hot. Then add in 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Again, in my case, I have to add in extra oil to coat my wok. Add in the marinated pork and stir fry until it's partially cooked. It should take about 20 to 30 seconds. When you cook this, the fire should be about medium-high. Once the pork is partially cooked, add in 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. Next, add in the onion and the cabbage. Stir fry for about 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, add in the carrot, celery, bamboo shoot strips, bean sprouts, napa, and the white green parts of the spring onion. Continue to stir fry for about 30 seconds or so. Add in the Mei Fun rice noodles and the green parts of the spring onion. Add in 1 tablespoon of Shaoxing rice wine, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 teaspoon of sugar, 1/6 teaspoon white pepper, 2 teaspoons of fish sauce. You can also substitute half a teaspoon of chicken powder instead. Continue to stir fry for about 30 seconds. Make sure to toss the noodles, do not break it apart. Break the cooked egg apart and add it in. Toss the rice noodles for about 30 more seconds. Add in half a teaspoon of oyster sauce, 1.5 teaspoon of sesame oil, and continue to toss for about 45 seconds to a minute. After 45 seconds to a minute, it's done. This serves about 2 to 3 people, but I could finish this by myself if I'm really hungry. Now I really sound like a pig. I almost forgot to mention that in Singapore Mei Fun, chilies or sriracha is added to make it spicy. If you add sriracha to this baby, it will rock your world. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked this tutorial. Please like, fave, subscribe, and post your comment below.